All right, Alex, I'm going to do this one very professional this time.
Oh, we'll fucking see.
Hello and welcome to Deep Cuts, the game, the movie trivia podcast where I give my three contestants 3 movies and they give me their most random, obscure actors that they can think of. The deeper the cut, the more points I give them. I'm your host, Jeff Penn, and with me as always, as is Alex Young. Yeah,
Are you okay? What happened at the end there?
I don't know. It was going so well. That was like the best one.
Medium. But anyway, Jeff, happy to be here.
Oh, well, thanks for coming out again, Alex, for the 5th show.
What else do I got going on? Let's be real. So, 5th show.
5th show.
If you recall, Jeff, in the pilot, we talked about a wedding.
We talked about invitations to a wedding and how more so, I think there was just an overall concern that the planning of the wedding was getting to the point where it's like the wedding's in a week or two and maybe some things weren't ready. And I think we were just concerned about how the wedding would go.
Because it was like near the deadline of the wedding. So I think you got invited like after the RCP date.
Yes, I did. And then the location changed.
It did.
And I received another invite to the new location.
And you did not attend.
I did not attend.
I did attend. And so did one of our guests. But I will say, listen, it was a nice wedding, especially for a wedding that was planned in like 3 months. And I know you predicted something like terrible happening, but like there's no runaway bride situation. There was no like disasters. Everything was fine. But I will say, you know, the bride, who is famous for her punctuality, he said sarcastically. So the invitation said, be seated by 12:30 for the ceremony at 1.
I do remember that in the invitation.
Yeah. Traffic was bad, so I didn't get there till 1:45. But I'm like, I'm still there 1:45. I'm gonna slip in the back. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. So the ceremony started at 2.
Ooh.
And I did text our guest George. I'm like, are we close to starting? And he's like, she's almost here. And I'm like, what do you mean almost? It's like 20 to 2. Anyway, so that was all fine. And the ceremony was like 40 minutes, not unreasonable. And they went and did pictures, which then I guess that was probably a little behind schedule and also traffic. So we didn't start the reception till like 5, which feels like a long day.
A long time to sit in between.
Totally. Yeah. And then like took a little while to serve everybody. So like I wasn't eating food until like 20 to 7, 6:45. I ate so much bread. I can't have gluten. I ate so much bread. I had 3 buns. I was so hungry. And our center table was in the middle, hence center table. And there are these 2 vents that like, this is no one's fault. I just think it's an interesting fact. The air conditioning was cranked. So it was the draftiest, coldest table in the entire wedding. To the point where the old lady beside me went and like got a sweater. And then after 20 minutes, just left. I think she's like, if I stay any longer, I might die. So she disappeared. I don't know if she went outside or she went to the bar. Or she was a ghost all along, but she never came back. I did not see her for the rest of the wedding.
So with that, I'm going to bring in our first guest, and maybe he can give us some inside information to that. His name is George Chavalis. Is it Chavalis? George, you can unmute yourself and come on in now. Chavalis.
Telly Savalas.
That's right.
That's right. Now, I want everyone to understand that George wrote this introduction. So anything that I say here, George wrote about himself. George is a production coordinator for HBO at Bell Media. His favorite movies are Bridesmaids, Gone Girl, Call Me by Your Name, Fight Club, and most recently, All of Us Strangers. As you can tell, he is a huge gay. I'm saying in the voice of Norm Macdonald, because George wrote that, not me.
And you love Norm Macdonald.
And I do. Yeah, he's a huge gay and a comic book geek. He's currently nerding out to X-Men 97. And he states, if you can't understand his accent, you're racist. Welcome to the show, George.
Hello. I was really hoping to see your face when you were saying my intro. And I wrote this specifically for you. And I was tempted to make it a bit more outrageous. But I was like, it's only the 5th show.
Yeah, I think that's the appropriate amount of outrageousness we need for episode 5, George. Welcome. You were also at the wedding. Not only were you at the wedding, you were a part of the wedding party. Do you have any insight into the delay?
Listen, I was the bridesman. I was in the bridal party. I feel the whole vibe of the wedding was very much on brand with the vibe of the bride.
I agree with
I
that.
wasn't surprised with anything really. Like, she really organized this wedding in such a small period of time, like 3-4 months, which is insane. And she did a lot of things like last minute, but in the brand of the bride, everything seems to basically kind of work out. And I think that's the overall sort of like my overall appreciation of the whole wedding. Of course, I mean, we all know her. Of course, she's gonna be late. Of course, she's gonna be late in her own wedding. Even people who are very punctual are late on their wedding. So obviously, like, that specific bride was gonna be late. We all knew that. I didn't expect her to be there before 1:30. There was no freaking way.
And
I
she
was
was
a bit
not.
surprised. Yeah, I was a bit surprised for the second delay between the reception. Sorry, between the ceremony and the reception. I didn't realize we're gonna go that far away to take pictures. So obviously, I was like, "Oh, all these people are waiting for us all this time." But people did wait, and we did arrive eventually, and it was great. So I wasn't surprised by anything. And I think for, sort of like the amount of, sort of like the time frame that they had to pull everything together, it kind of worked pretty good, I want to say.
Not everybody waited. My partner and I did drive to McDonald's for a little while for coffee and like wander around a Walmart for a little while. That did happen.
Yeah.
But we
I'm pretty
came
sure
back,
a lot of people did that.
which I think
I'm pretty
counts.
sure a lot of people did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what George said that stood out to me is like the cops always say, like, don't let them take you to a second location.
Mhm.
Like the moment you leave that wedding and go somewhere else and then got to go to another place, that's when problems are going to start happening, right? What do you got, Alex?
Nothing. I was gonna say we should bring in our final guest and
We
see
should.
if they have any opinions on weddings also, because they were not at this wedding, but maybe they know things about things.
Yep. Yeah, I hope they do. They were supposed to be with us for episode 2, I believe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Right? Episode 2.
Yep.
Her name is Vanya Garraway. She's a writer and film curator at the Review Cinema in Toronto. She's a lover of all artistic mediums that movies encompass. Her fave movies are Heat, Casablanca, Mona Lisa, An Unmarried Woman, and Rear Window. Something interesting about her that she wanted to add was that her favorite comfort movies are Twister and Backdraft, with A Perfect Murder trying to edge one of them out. Wow, A Perfect Murder.
Hi.
Hi, Vanya. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't put in my bio huge buy. You know what I mean? Because like then we could be in it together, George. We are in it together. No, thanks for having me.
No, it's great to have you. So A Perfect Murder. If I'm not, is that the Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah, Michael Douglas
And Vigo?
Yeah.
I have not seen that movie in a long time.
I recently rewatched it, and it's like a very much like kind of cozy. I mean, it's murder and adultery and all that. Things that make you feel like you just want to get under a blanket. Yeah. Have a tea. Watch people commit crimes. It's great. Yeah, I kind of like, apparently, I guess I like destruction while I'm trying to nap. That's weird.
Yeah, and like Fireman and Twister. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I saw Backdraft in the theater, and I'm sure I shouldn't have. Like, it was just me and a friend, and I was like, because I think there's some sex and nudity in that one, if I'm not mistaken. I think is there a Billy Baldwin like
there's
butt
a sex
shot?
scene.
Yeah.
There might be, but I can't remember. But there's definitely like a couple sex scenes.
Yeah, for a 14-year-old
they're
boy,
not like heavy though.
That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So I will say the one thing that always bugged me about Backdraft when I was younger is that when it starts, it's Kurt Russell and he dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers. And then the rest of the movie is Kurt Russell playing his son. And it's
Yeah.
just like, it's a different guy. And they look alike. And I'm like, that's dumb. Except now I see Wyatt Russell. I'm like, oh no, it's actually fine.
Yeah, it's
These
perfect
genes
casting.
are so strong, it's perfectly fine. I'm in.
And I love that they just do it with a mustache. They
Yeah.
just like they're like the mustache from before, and then
It's like a
his son
Marvel
just doesn't
character
have a
going in disguise. They just put on a baseball hat.
Yeah,
Yeah, and some dark sunglasses.
it's great. It's a great movie.
Well, thank you for coming out and playing. George, you've played many times with us before in the office when we do the at work version of this game. Vanya, it's your first time. So what I like to do to start off the game is I've thought of a movie, and I like to get everyone to try to guess what that movie is, and the closest person to it gets to choose whether they go first, second, or third. So, Vanya, since you're the newest person to the game, I'm going to ask you, what movie am I thinking of?
Unfaithful.
Unfaithful.
What an on-brand guess after a perfect murder.
It's a good guess. I mean, all guesses are good guesses at this point. George, what is your guess?
I think the movie you're thinking is Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton one.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that is a less
What
good
a swing
guess.
of the 3 possible ones it could be.
Alex, what movie am I thinking of?
Well, George stole my guess, Jeff. No, I think it is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Okay, so none of you got it. Surprise, surprise. But the movie, for once, kind of does tie into what we were talking about and the theme of this week's show. So the movie was 27 Dresses.
Mm.
So I'm going to say
Vanya,
Vanya
your
is the closest.
How's
So
that?
Vanya, I mean, it's
Marriage?
27 Dresses. It's a wedding movie, Unfaithful. It's kind of an anti-wedding movie.
Resolvement of a wedding, of
Yeah.
marriage.
All right.
Yeah. So would you like to go
Like it.
first, second, or third? And understand that if you go third, you'll get to go fourth. So you'll get 2 picks in a row. If you go first, you'll have to wait till it comes back, but then get 2 picks.
Third.
Third. That's, you know what? It's a safe call. It's your first time playing.
I don't think I've ever not gone third in this game.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm like fucked. I'm just fucked.
I'm gonna be. Don't know you're not, because I'm gonna be awful at this game, because I'm gonna lose my cinema card, because I'm not all of a sudden gonna have no names in my head. And
Your key to the review just doesn't work anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Alex, I'm going to say you're the second closest based on just the fact that you don't have any like monkeys in your film. So that makes it closer to 27 Dresses. So where
Okay.
would you like to go?
I will go second.
Forcing George into the number 1 spot. So, as I said, it's movie week, or sorry, it's wedding week. Also, because tomorrow is my anniversary,
Oh, congratulations.
26 years. And I just want everyone to know that
Run your space. Yeah, it's a lot of years. It's like the most number of years.
A whole full adult. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my marriage has graduated from university and is working its way through law school right now. So,
Your marriage is almost on its own second marriage.
yeah. My marriage has already been married for 5 years at that point. I was gonna say the day that I got married, I went and shot 9 holes of golf in the morning and still made it on time to my wedding. So
Oh, whoa.
there's no excuse.
Right?
That is the most Mad Men shit that I've ever heard. Where it's like John Slattery and John Hammer like on the links is like, Don, don't you have to be at a wedding? He's like, it's noon. I have an hour. And they did another golf.
So yes, so the 3 movies are all wedding related, and I'll tell you this right now: there are 2 crossovers. One of them is very easy to get. The other one, almost impossible.
Great.
So, if you get a person who's in multiple movies, you get the points for all the movies they're in, Vanya. Just to get you up to speed on that.
Okay.
So, starting with the oldest film, it's the 1998 rom-com musical, The Wedding Singer.
Oh, great. Are we saying that's a musical?
He sings a lot. There's a lot of I mean,
There's a lot of music in it.
there is musical in it. He
Yeah, I
does
mean-
sing. There's a lot of performances by different people.
Review does a sing along of it, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I will allow it. Proceed.
Yes, and it's listed on IMDb as musical as well. So, what is not a musical is the 2005 comedy Wedding Crashers.
I haven't seen that since the theater.
And then last up is the 2009 comedy The Hangover.
Mm.
Also wedding related in the sense that it is a bachelor party. I'll give you guys a minute. Think about it.
oh, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Write down anyone you think, like off the top of your head. If anyone you're like, oh, don't forget this, don't forget that.
Am I picking the most obscure person I can think of?
Yes.
The most obscure you can. Like, I don't want to say any stars, but if we were doing, I always say if we're doing Back to the Future, don't give me Michael J. Fox or Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
Give me the guy who plays Biff. Give me, Crispin Glover if you have to. And don't forget that I don't need to hear their names. If you can tell me something else that they are in, like, oh, it's the guy who played this person's girlfriend in this movie. That's good for me. I may have to do a little research, but I'm usually pretty good at knowing who you're talking about.
Okay.
All right. So everyone's gotten some ideas written down. George, you're up first.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Wedding Crashers, and I'm gonna go with Bradley Cooper.
Very good, because he is one of the people who's in 2 movies.
Oh, nice.
Wedding Crashers
Damn
nets
it.
you 6 points for Wedding Crashers, as he is the fiance of one of the leads. And you get 1 additional point for The Hangover, as he's the biggest star from that movie. But still, that's 7 points for Bradley Cooper. Alex Young.
I'm going to pick the obvious choice from The Wedding Singer, but I want to take it before anybody else does, and that's Billy Idol.
Yes, you're right. Billy Idol.
That's what I had. Hate you.
Oh, no. Billy Idol is good for 10 points.
I will take it.
Now, you've stolen 1 for Vanya. Now, Vanya, you have 2 guesses here, as you get to go 3rd, and then you'll get to go 4th.
Okay, so I'm just guessing from what. Sorry, I know.
You can guess from any of the movies that I've listed: Wedding
Okay.
Crashers, Wedding Singer, The Hangover, and like I said, the more obscure, the
Okay.
better.
I think Dwight Yoakam is in Wedding Crashers.
Dwight Yoakam is in the opening scene of the Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Also good for 10 points.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Now you have another pick, Vanya.
I guess for Wedding Singer, I'll pick John Lovett.
Very nice. One of the other musical acts in The Wedding Singer. John Lovitz. There's a lot of people in this movie. Let me scroll down and see where I put his name. John Lovitz for 8 points. You know what? For a girl who says she doesn't know how the game works, she's doing pretty good.
I'm just lucky right now.
Alex, back to you.
I'm gonna go with The Hangover again, and I'm take Jeffrey Tambor.
Ooh, very good. See, he's not a ton of points. He's another 10.
Listen, I'll keep taking the 10s. Just keep stacking the 10s. It's better than my 3s.
I wasn't sure anyone would remember that guy being in that film, as he is someone's dad.
Yes,
if I'm not
who I almost just said. I'm like, yeah, he's so and so's dad, and I almost said the name. So I'm glad that you cut me up. I almost pulled a Craig's meat in there.
George, you're looking like you're thinking very hard about this. I think you've got something good up your sleeve, George. What is it?
I'm gonna keep this for later because I'm gonna keep thinking about it. But for this,
that's always risky.
For this, there's no way anybody of you know them. Okay, so for my pick though, I'm gonna choose Hangover, and she's the mother of the baby, and she's in Austin Powers 2, and she's also in like The Flowers in the Attic latest adaptations of it.
Yes, her name is Heather Graham.
Yeah.
Well done.
Who I had.
Heather Graham is 8 points.
I had her down.
Oh no! Everyone's gonna steal
annoying.
all your guesses, and you're just gonna be like,
It's Roller Girl from Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Would be my touchstone for Heather Graham. George, you have another pick.
Okay, my second pick is okay. So in The Hangover, the first one, there is a couple of Greek people.
Oh wow!
The lady, I believe, is called Evelina, and then the last name is Mutasu.
Holy
C
crap!
play. Did I get it?
I listen, George. If this is a person who exists, I did not write them down.
Exists.
Are they in something else?
If he's close enough on the name, we can check after and he can have it.
She also, so she's Greek. She lives in LA. She was in this Turkish show.
Jesus,
What?
She's in a Turkish show. She's in the Turkish soap opera.
Are you related to this person?
No. she's also a singer. So she has this really famous song from the early aughts, which I cannot remember. I believe her name is Evelina, and I'm blanking on the last name, but it's something with an M. Mutasu.
Sing some of the song.
I can't remember it.
I'm on IMDb right now. I'm gonna scroll through. So the rule is they have to be listed in IMDb. So
yeah, she is.
Okay, so you guys can talk a little bit. Let me scroll through and see if I can find an Evelina.
I actually have no like deep cuts left.
I was saying that you have no further guesses.
Like I've guessed, but they're all like known, you know?
That's fine.
She's definitely in the film. She plays there are two Greeks, and I believe they own the church or something in Las Vegas. And she's the girl.
Oh.
All right,
I
George.
hope whatever you're about to pull, Vanya, is like so obscurely deep and it's worth 1,000 points.
It's not.
Great.
George, I might have to come back to this before we
can take it to council at the end.
Yes. Give me. Yeah. We'll come back. I'm gonna just pencil in Evelina for George. Evelina, Greek singer.
Plus actress.
Alex.
He can't be worth that many points, but I feel like maybe I'll get more because nobody knows his name. In The Hangover, Justin Bartha, the guy they're looking for. He's also in, I want to say, the National Treasure movies.
Yeah, you know what? It's so sad that poor guy is in all three of the Hangover movies. He's in all the National Treasure movies, and nobody knows who he is.
I got his name right.
You did.
One
Justin
of the
Bartha.
two guesses.
He's only worth 6 points.
All right, I'll take it.
But I mean, he is a big
for the
part.
5 minutes of screen time he has. It should be more.
Justin Bartha, 6 points. Vanya, we're back to you.
Okay.
Wedding
Crashers, Rebecca De Mornay.
Yes, I was surprised you didn't go straight to her after you gave us Dwight Yoakam.
I was going for the deeper cut because he started acting after her, so I was like,
and you know what? He's a really good actor.
He's really
I gotta
good
say,
actor.
for a country star or whatever you want to call him, he's everything he's been in. He's always been really good.
I'm sure that people are starting to forget his career. Some people only know him probably as an actor.
Because what was Sling Blade like? Kind of his first acting.
I don't know if it was his first, but he's good in it.
But that was the thing that kind of So 10 points for Rebecca De Mornay.
Fun fact about Sling Blade: I always thought that movie was Outland with Sean Connery.
Crazy. Yeah, that's bonkers.
Outland or Highlander?
Nope, Outland, the space one.
Okay.
Which I watched recently and is awesome. It's
great.
Awesome. Why do not more people talk about Outland?
They showed it at Review one summer.
Did they? It rules.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Billy Bob Thornton is not in it.
He's not.
He's not.
Vanya, you have your fourth pick.
Do we do this one now? What's the strategy of holding off? Anyway, I'm just not going to do that. Jane Seymour in Wedding Crashers. Yeah.
Yes, Jane Seymour is the mother of some of the ladies in that movie. Is worth 8 points.
Solid.
Thank you.
You motorboating son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that movie. There's something about it that just...
You know what? It's really good, and I used to like it a lot more, but there is a dead zone in it, like a dead patch that's really big enough to make it, frustrating to rewatch.
Yeah,
sometimes.
You could probably pull out 20 minutes, like kind of in that second and third act.
Exactly.
But the first and third act are amazing. And
they're awesome.
You and I have discussed this, but the scene, I forgot about the fucking tiger, is never not the funniest shit
In The
movie.
Hangover?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite moment in the whole entire movie.
It's the best joke. It's
Yeah.
the best joke in the whole thing.
Alex, on the clock.
Wedding Singer, Steve Buscemi.
Wait, what was my sorry? Can I ask my score for Jane Seymour? Okay, I
It's
forgot.
8 points for Jane.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Alex coming in with Steve Buscemi for 6 points.
All my 10s becoming 6s. Find a nickel.
I mean, he's got that very nice opening scene where he's drunk, and then at the end he performs the wedding song to close out the movie.
Mhm.
George, he's thinking really hard here.
Okay, did we say for The Hangover? Did we say Mike Tyson?
Fuck.
Not yet, but that's a great guess. That was going to be my next one.
That
Good
was my
job,
next
George.
one.
Mike Tyson,
Fuck.
he's 7 points.
Fuck.
I mean, he's a very famous cameo in that movie. 7 points.
Do we get any points for just the Phil Collins song?
No points for that.
All right.
George,
Uh-oh.
you have your 5th pick.
I'm in trouble.
Okay. I'm gonna say Hangover again. And did we say the guy from Community?
Oh, son of a bitch, George. Son of a bitch, George.
Ah.
Is he Korean?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ken. Yes. Nobody has said him yet.
What's his name? Sorry, I'm blanking.
Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong
Ken Jeong. Yes, that's right.
for 6 points on Ken Jeong.
Damn it,
George.
damn it.
Okay, that's
Running
pretty
out
good.
of people.
Pretty good. George is nobody's swinging and missing here. Yeah, I'm waiting for Alex to do his very
gonna
famous.
happen.
I know when you love when I do this, Jeff. I'm gonna say someone who's probably not in the movie.
No, I'm gonna do safer guesses because it is such a tight.
It's very close.
But none of them are deep anymore. Like I'm going probably across the top of the poster now for every
Yes.
single one of these movies.
Yes, same.
But my next guess is gonna be for Wedding Crashers, Christopher
Damn it.
Walken.
Yeah,
Damn
that is very, very high to the top there. You're getting less and less, Alex. He's 5 points.
I assumed. Well, I was gonna go with the female leads, so I guess he was the safer choice.
Yes,
Mm.
he is the safer choice. Vanya, you've had 4 guesses. This is your final 2. We do 6 rounds. So
Okay.
you've got your last 2 picks here.
Okay, so I'm gonna do because I'm just running out of stuff. I'm gonna do Will Ferrell for Wedding Crashers,
That's good. That's good because he shows up at the end. 8
and
points for Will
somewhere
Ferrell.
somewhere in the middle, like before they take off. He's there a couple times, and then I guess I'll do for The Hangover. I'm gonna go Galifianakis because I can't.
Galifianakis.
Yes. I'm dead now.
2 points. 2 points.
Expected, as expected.
What was Will again? Points?
Will was 8. Zach was 2.
That's not bad. Will, not bad.
Alex, you have your last one.
I want to do the weird kid in Wedding Crash, but I can't tell you anything else that he's in. And same with there's somebody else I want to do from Wedding Singer, but I can't give you anything other than the Wedding Singer. So I'm just gonna go with Isla Fisher. George, did I steal Isla Fisher from you?
I was gonna do Isla Fisher. Why did I do that? I had
She's
it right now.
points. She's worth the same as Galifianakis, I'm sure.
She's worth 3. She's worth 3.
Oh,
One more point.
boom.
One more
One extra
point.
point.
Smoked it.
Why did I pick her and not? Oh, I'm so annoyed with
okay.
myself.
Amateur
That's
hour.
okay. Amateur hour.
Yeah, you're right. I'm new. I'm a rookie.
Now, George, I will say this. If your Evelyn Greek singer actress woman pays off, you've probably won. If she's not in the movie, you need to make sure you get some points here.
But he seems super confident because what an insane thing to make up.
No, C is.
I see. I'm just worried that maybe he's confused it with like The Hangover 2 or something.
No.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
That's the problem with
Okay.
these sequel movies.
Okay, so I was gonna guess the guy who was with her, but in case I'm wrong,
Mhm.
I don't want to lose both. So I'm gonna try to guess somebody else. Okay, who do we got?
3 whole casts.
Yeah. Okay, so I haven't seen The Wedding Singer, so I'm gonna stop.
George, that movie's great. You should watch it.
I
really good.
tried to recently and I couldn't. I don't like Adam Sandler comedies.
This is one
I'm
of the few
sorry, Adam.
exceptions, I feel.
Yeah, this is the least Adam Sandler comedy.
Yeah, if you're like, I couldn't watch The Waterboy, I'd be like, fair enough.
You know what? Speaking of The Wedding Singer, I do want to say I've seen that old woman with the weird cookies somewhere else. I
Yeah, me
just
too.
don't know where I have seen her from.
Totally.
She's been in
Yes.
tons of movies as an
Yeah.
old woman,
Yeah.
but I can't remember for the life of me where else I've seen her.
Me neither. And I might
Yeah.
keep just singing where she does like the rap at the end.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna feel so stupid.
Oh,
Has it been another Adam Sandler film? Maybe she has.
or is she in one of the other movies here?
Oh my god, is she one of the crossovers?
Yeah.
No
I mean,
way.
she's not. George, you should pick one of the stars of The Wedding Singer.
Yeah. What do you got, George?
No, okay. I'm gonna do Hangover again. I'm gonna do the guy with the glasses. Who is he not in Arrested? No, no, he's not there. He's in a big comedy, either Arrested Development or The Office.
His name is Ed Helms, George. He's in The Office.
He can't be.
He's worth 3 points.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
God, I would
I'm
have picked him too if I. Oh, God,
I have to come back
Vanakis.
and take a look
God.
at George's.
You got to
points
come
for a
back
second.
on another episode, Vonnie, and then you'll blow it out of the water. That's how.
But okay, so what I want to tell you, so the girl you were thinking from The Wedding Singer, the hip,
Yeah.
Her
with
name is-
Meatballs. Who pays in the meatballs?
yes. And I watched the extended cut this week, and there's a whole extra scene with her and Adam Sandler where
Mhm.
she's talking about him being afraid to meet a new girl because she's going to have to see his penis.
Right.
And she's like, I was at your bris. I saw it. It's got good size. And I was like, this is hilarious. Her name is Ellen Albertini Dow.
Mhm.
She is also in Wedding Crashers. She is the grandmother in Wedding Crashers.
Fuck.
It would have
Yeah,
been
but I
very tough
couldn't
for you to
rem-
figure out who she was or what
Yeah,
she
I
was in.
couldn't visualize her. Ugh.
So I'm going to give you guys some ones that you missed. From The Wedding Singer, we have Kevin Nealon. We
Of course.
have comedian Brian Posehn is at table number 9 with all the weird people.
Mhm.
He has no lines.
Forgot.
You also, for 20 points, if you had remembered that the little kid at the bar mitzvah,
Who steps on the toes?
no, he grabs Drew Barrymore's
Grabs her
butt.
butt.
He's an actor by the name of Jimmy Cars, and he's in the Matilda movie as Brucey, the kid that's got to eat all the
He's gotta
chocolate
eat all the
cake.
cake. Oh
That's
my
him.
god.
I wouldn't have got him.
Also-
Me
no,
neither.
nobody would. The Hangover. Some people like Rob Riggle is in it. Comedian Rob Riggle, comedian Matt Walsh, and Brian Callen, who I think works a lot with Todd Phillips, because Todd Phillips is also in this film that he directed. So you got to score some points there, because Brian Callen is in The Joker as like the stripper.
Hmm.
And then Carrot Top has an uncredited appearance in The Hangover.
Hilarious.
Wedding Crashers, you guys did pretty good. You got the Rebecca De Mornay and the Dwight Yoakam. I would say the two big ones you missed, uncredited appearances by John McCain and James Carville, who
Like
are at the
the
wedding.
John McCain and
The
James
John
Carville?
McCain and James Carville, because
Jesus.
it's a political wedding, right? So they are there at the very beginning.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's
I don't feel bad about any of that.
Mm-mm. But wait, okay. So here's one question, because I was thinking, who is the woman who leaves Adam Sandler at the altar?
her name is
Yeah,
Angela
yeah.
Featherstone.
What
I
else do
was
I know her
thinking
from?
about
I didn't really write down what she was in, but I can tell you she was also in an episode of Seinfeld. She's Jerry's cleaning girlfriend, who's also his cleaning lady,
Mm.
and he
All right.
refuses to pay her.
New
She
rule.
was
If I can't
also-
place a character, actor, or actress, I'm like, and they were in that episode of Seinfeld, and I'm just gonna shoot for the
Oh wait,
credits.
she was in Con Air. Alex.
Who is she in Con Air?
She's John Cusack's assistant, like the female that's kind of helping them out in the office. She's got
Oh.
a different haircut.
Mm.
And she was also in that bad movie we watched called Soul Survivors.
Oh.
right. Why are you saying oh like you're like I love that movie?
No, because I know so. Yeah. Okay.
That's it. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm.
Okay, let's pause for 1 second. We'll
Okay.
keep the recording going. And I'm going to jump to IMDb really quickly.
I just looked it up.
Did you?
I
And-
was wrong. I was
Oh.
wrong about the first name, but I was
But-
right about the last name.
Did we ever hear her last
You
name?
guessed her last name.
I said Mutasu, but I wasn't sure.
He did also say she was in this Turkish soap opera. So if you can confirm the Turkish soap opera, Jeff, I think we allow it.
Okay, George. So what is her?
I only know
first name?
Hungarian soap operas, so I won't be able to help.
Katerina. She's way down
Thank
the
you
back.
for the laugh, Vanya. Appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah,
the laugh.
no problem. I got you.
Katerina. Who is she around, George? Is there anyone? Is she uncredited or credited?
So
Katerina
correct,
Matsatsu. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. I guess we got to give it to him.
Yeah, I think that's the rules, man. He got it.
And if it's someone I haven't written down, usually the rule is they get an automatic 20 points.
That's exactly right.
God damn it.
Because I didn't feel they were worth writing down because who the hell was going to get them? So George gets 20 points there. So let's do up these points real quick.
Whoa.
Alex.
Less than George.
26, 32, 37, 40.
I'll take it.
Vanya. 18, 28, 36, 44, 46.
Ooh, nice.
Shut
We know George has got at least 20. 28, 35, 42, 48, 51. It was a lot closer, even with George's 20.
I feel really good about that.
Yeah, he knocks Vanya by 5 points.
I feel really good about that because you're crazy, lady. I mean, I was never gonna get there. So I was right on your heels. Awesome.
No, that Greek actress was my next guess. George stole it from me.
Yeah, and that's why I would say never hold one back. I know there's sometimes where you're like, oh, I can keep this one for later, but there's always a chance. Especially if you're playing against like our friend Craig, who will happen to be like, oh, I know that person.
Oh, I never want to play with Craig.
I went to school with them.
I never want to play with Craig.
Everyone's so afraid of playing with Craig, but let me tell you, losing to you guys sucks just as much as losing to Craig. So,
well, Craig worked at a video store. It's impossible. Like, you know.
Oh, that's right.
And he has an incredible memory and knows every single person who exists. So.
He wished me luck today.
Amazing. He also mentioned to me today that like it feels weird listening to the podcast and people are talking about him. So let's all say hi, Craig. Hi.
Hi, Craig.
Have a great day.
Best here on the base, Craig.
Craig said he has a criticism about Backdraft that is so he's like, yeah, I like it, but that whole that's my brother. when Billy Baldwin's fighting a fire and Kurt Russell's all proud of him, he's like, that's my brother. He was like, what is that? I hate that.
You know what line doesn't have as much power is that's my coworker. Not as strong.
But I'll let him confirm that.
Did Ron Howard direct Backdraft?
He did.
He did, yeah.
Boy, that guy, he's good, eh?
Yeah. All right.
It's like almost time for me to rewatch Apollo 13. It's been a really long time since I've seen it, and that movie rules. So he's on my mind.
I had a thought last night. I often have weird thoughts as I'm going to sleep. And
is this safe to discuss on the podcast on the eve of your anniversary, Jeff?
Yeah, no, this is completely yeah, you know it's fine. No, and I don't know if we have it in Canada or if it's just a US thing, or maybe it's just a thing that only happens on like crime TV shows and stuff like that, where if someone's married, like you can't force them to testify against their spouse.
Sorry,
and
it just reminds me of Arrested Development. Anyhow,
yeah, and I was just thinking, is that not the stupidest law ever? It's like, oh, your husband killed 12 women, but we can't force you to testify because you essentially did a pinky swear.
It's not that cut and dry though. Actually,
okay.
I feel like they can't be compelled, but I feel like there is like another part to it. It's not so like, yeah, they're scot-free.
No, yeah, I would assume that if they have evidence against them, they can still prosecute. But I just think it's weird that it's like, oh, you guys put a ring on each other's finger. You don't have to talk about each other and the horrible things.
I think they assume this because you're going to lie anyway, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And you will end up perjuring yourself, you know?
The spouse can still like opt to, like, oh, they did a bunch of murders. I'm totally going to like, that explains why the basement is gross. Like, absolutely, I will testify against them.
but it's always like, oh, if we get married, you won't have to testify against me. And I was like, yeah, but that seems unfair.
Yeah, but if you're already married, it's not like you could like marry the witness. Although, like, what a crazy season of Big Love that would be, where it's like good news, bad news. We have 4 witnesses. Bad news, they're all married to Bill
his
Paxton.
wife. Yeah.
But they're not legally married, so
Ooh,
it doesn't matter.
true.
Only the one woman.
Only Janine Triplehorn's character.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Good
right.
job, my brain.
Because the rest of them aren't real married.
And-
Not real humans. They're just figments of his imagination,
No,
like
but
Fight
it's
Club.
a whole thing. It's a whole thing because sometimes they're like, there's like a legality. The other women feel like vulnerable because they can't actually ask for anything.
Oh, that's
you
a
know?
very legitimate fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if something happens to the husband and the first
Mhm.
wife, they essentially
Only the
like,
first
you're
wife
not-
has the.
You're not
Yeah.
entitled to the house. You're not entitled to the property
Nothing.
or any sort of insurance. Oh, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife and daughter just finished watching all of Sister Wives.
Mm,
So I know
Different
way
show.
too much about polygamous marriages.
yeah.
Is that where you're getting Sandy for your anniversary?
I'm getting her a
A
sister,
sister
wife.
wife?
Take the edge off.
Surprise twist. It's a brother husband. Sorry, Jeff.
Well done, well done. Yeah, no, it's our 26th anniversary tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And your
So, yeah.
birthday's next week. Is that right?
it is. It is my birthday next week.
Happy
baby.
birthday, Jeff.
I don't know.
Birthday, look at you.
5'4"?
Thanks, everyone. So yeah,
It wasn't a compliment. It was just look at you. It could be positive or negative.
I don't know. I put the filter on my camera. I think I look okay. I shaved yesterday.
With a filter?
You're so proud of yourself, aren't you?
I am. That was a good one.
It was a good show, guys. Thank you very much for playing. Once
anytime.
again, George is the big winner with 51. Alex is the big loser with 40.
Classic
Oh.
this guy.
And Vanya right in the middle there with 46.
It's a
Very
good
solid.
show. That's within 5 of George. That's huge.
I mean,
Good
I
job.
feel like I'm the spiritual winner. Sorry, George, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think if you've never played the game before and you come on and get second place and you beat Alex, yeah, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
And
I
remind
agree.
me, Jeff, when we did like episode 0, that was essentially just an audio test with George and I. He beat me then too, didn't he?
He beat you then too, but I think I also gave like one of his
Oh.
favorite movies. Like I think I did like Bridesmaids, which
Sure.
was
Oh,
essentially
yeah, that's true.
it was Bridesmaids, Con Air, and something
Something
else with Steve. Oh, it was Grown Ups too.
Yeah, which no.
Because it was
Oh,
another
yeah.
Steve Buscemi film.
And it shows Maria Bella. Do you remember?
Somehow you
Yeah.
called Maria Bella.
You're like, oh, who always works with Adam Sandler? Maria Bello. What are you talking about? Which, speaking of George, I haven't spoken to you since I saw it, but I recently watched All of Us Strangers, and yes, you're absolutely right. It is phenomenal.
It's great, isn't it?
It's so good. Oh my
nice.
god, it's so good. And yeah, what a bummer. What a bummer ass movie that is.
Mhm.
Phenomenal cast though.
Yep.
So, Alex, you have not you've written me an intro to the show, but you have not written me an outro to the show. So I'm still winging it as we close.
Oh yeah,
these
just
off.
let you flounder on that one, Jeff.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, hey, this was another episode of Deep Cuts the Game. I was the host, Jeff Penn. My co-host, Alex Young. Vanya. Thank you, Vanya, for joining us, and thank you, George, for winning and playing along and being such a good sport. It was a really good show, guys. Hey, so everyone, please, if you're listening and you got all this way here and you're not offended, please look us up on Twitter. We're at Deep Cuts Game. You can reach out to us at deepcutsgame@gmail.com. And I'm also still currently looking for a job. So if you can stand the sound of my voice and would like to hire me, reach out to all those things because I would like a job. I'm going to edit that out, but seems a little needy, doesn't it?
No, Jeff, put yourself out there.
Vanya, George, anything
Oh, yeah.
to promote?
Yeah. Do you guys have any socials you want to let people know about? Anything going on at the review, Vanya, that we should know about?
Oh yeah. At review, I'm showing Bad News Bears June 6th,
The
Um,
old one or the Billy Bob Thornton
1976.
one? Nice.
Walter Matthau, Tatum O'Neal, Jackie Earle Haley. And then July 4th, I'm doing Days of Thunder as part of a 2-film 2-month 2-film like series called Great Scott. So we're doing Tony Scott, Days of Thunder, July 4th, and then August 1st, Gladiator, Ridley Scott.
Nice.
I'm so excited for Gladiator.
Oh, and I'm doing Talented Mr. Ripley on July 4th.
Nice.
That's such a good choice. What a decadent movie.
It is. Yeah.
How about you, George? Anything, anywhere where people can find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at George Chavelis. I have Twitter, but I don't use it. And in the original pilot episode, I did promote myself in terms of looking for a husband, but I think I'm fully satisfied in that regard right now. There's a few months I have passed, and I think I have some eligible bachelors that I have entertained already. So I don't need to send me any more resumes. Thank you.
Applications are now closed.
Well, yeah. Speak about decadent. Like that just sounded like I have several bachelors, Wow. Well, congratulations. That's good news, George. And I don't think our podcast helped with that because I doubt anyone listened to it. And was like, that's the guy I got to find. But I'm happy for you. And Alex, once again, thanks for co-hosting with me and helping out every week. Once again, this has been Deep Cuts the Game. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.